Hey everybody, welcome back. Once again, my name is Clint and this is the Sit and Get Fit Balance. So I'm going to cover basic balance exercises mixed in with some intermediate and more advanced. I got my chair, that's for balance, got a mat and a small object, and we're going to use those three items, including your body, to help with balance. So as a little bit of a dynamic warm-up, not the kind that you would do for kickboxing or something like that. We're going to go much slower, but what I want you to do is just do a slow marching in place, but I want you to exaggerate getting that knee up as high as you feel comfortable before you place it down. Now, if you already find that you have trouble going at this tempo, then the key is to keep this leg slightly bent, because that really maintains or helps to maintain balance. As high as you feel comfortable. Nice, slow and controlled motion. Warming up those legs, warming up the core. Just a couple more. All right, we're going to take it to another level, so we'll go fingertips nice and relaxed. Now, as I come up with my left leg, my left hand's going to go down, my right hand goes up. So as high as I feel comfortable, slowly come together. Now, if this is too tough, you can still modify it by having one hand on the chair while the other hand goes up into the air. Good. This next one, I will use the chair, but what I want you to do, this is my center line. Nose, sternum, navel. So this is my right leg. I'm going to come across that center line, up, out, away from the body. I'm going to avoid touching the floor. Now, if you need to, you can certainly do so, but I'm not going to touch the floor because it requires a little bit more balance to keep that leg off of the floor. Also, it makes these muscles work a little bit harder, which is fine, because that way I get a little bit of a workout as well as improving my balance. And a couple more. Now, as you'll notice, I'm only doing one set per side of these exercises. If you want to try these on your own, or do a part of the class instead of the entire class, let's say as your homework assignment, because the more you practice balance, the more it can help you. But as I was going to say is, I'm doing one set, you could do 2 or 3 of each. And that's going to help as well. So if you don't like all the exercises, or you have a certain favorite that you like, just do more sets of those. And rest. Good. All right. We'll take the chair to the side. Now I'm going to use a small ball or whatever small item that you have that is lightweight. So what I'm going to do on this one to make balance a little bit tougher, I'm going to bring my feet close together. This is my left hand, my right side, so I'm going to go down as far as I feel comfortable, keeping my eyes on the target, and come up, and repeat that motion. Now, if you have a bad shoulder, you could go down, keep that elbow close to the body, and just raise your arm like this. However, if your shoulders are fine, get a little bit more extension, constantly keeping the eyes on the target. Just like this. It's nice, slow, and controlled. So once again, if this is a little bit too tough, just spread your feet farther apart. That makes it easier. But you want to go in a slow and controlled motion. We're going to try one more on this side. All right, good. Now I'm going to switch sides. Down. Once again, eyes on the target. we'll try one more. And rest. Good. All right. So now we'll grab our chair again. I'll be at an angle so you could get a different view. So on this one, my foot that's closest to the chair, that's the one I'm going to be using, or that's the one I'm going to be standing on, knee slightly bent. So I'm going to go out to the side as far as I feel comfortable without swinging back to neutral. Once again, if you have to put your foot down, then do so. But if you can do this exercise without putting your foot down, it's going to help even more with balance. It's going to work those muscles more, get a little bit better. Kind of kill two birds with one stone. Get a workout and improve your balance at the same time. Once again, I want to go in a slow and controlled motion. Speed kills balance, so I don't want to go too fast. And momentum, if created through speed, increases the risk of injury, so I don't want that either. All right. So same thing on the other side. So as you notice, this time I have my hand back here. Sometimes you can have it in front. That doesn't really matter. It's just your personal preference. And last two. Alright, now in this one we're going to do a core exercise, but it does work balance. Besides working the muscles that are responsible for helping with balance, it's another two for one here. So I'm going to sit on the edge of the chair, feet out in front. Now I'm going to lean back. Now, once again, for balance sake, I'm going to grab here. If it's too easy, let go, then bring your knees up and back down. And you'll notice your body wobbling. That's because it's trying to balance on a surface that's not very big and your body's in motion at the same time. So if this is too challenging, you could grab the chair sides and then do it. Or if you need to, which is fine to start, both feet on the floor and then just alternate one leg up and the other leg down. And each time I'm touching the floor. But if you can make it a little more tough and not touch the floor, that makes it more tough balance-wise also. So once again, you could always modify these to make it a little bit tougher and turn the workout into a way of helping your balance. And rest. Good job. All right, so we'll come back to the chair. Now we already did the lateral, we did the core. Now in this one, we're going to go back. So once again, my leg that's next to the chair, slightly bent. The other leg I want to keep straight, go back as far as I feel comfortable. Once again, without swinging or using momentum, trying to keep that leg straight. And of course, if you don't need to use a chair, then don't, as I just wobbled. I just don't want you to white knuckle it. I mean, don't squeeze the chair so hard that it becomes almost a part of you and therefore it takes away from the balance. So just fingertips if you can. Because the harder you make this for balance, the more your body has to try to adapt to it. And switch. All right, yep, same thing on the other side. You don't want to be lopsided, got to do both sides. How's that feeling? Once again, you'll hear me say it a lot of times, always keep that leg you're standing on, that knee slightly bent. Not just helps with balance, but it's also much safer on the internal part of your knee. And rest. All right, next one we're gonna do are squats. Not just squats require some balance, but they're an excellent full body exercise and works the legs really well. You probably have heard that squats are bad for the knees, which is true if you already have bad knees or if your form is atrocious. But we're going to do it in a way where your form is good. So unless your knees are already shot or really bad, you may not want to do this, or you could try the modified way and see how your body feels. So we want our feet wider than shoulder width, chin up, butt back. So we're not coming down like this with my knees past my toes. I want my butt back, which makes my knees go back too. Down, just tap the chair and up. Tap and up. This way the large muscles of the quads, hamstrings, and glutes are working. Much, much safer and healthier on the knees. Squats are an excellent exercise. And I'm working on the muscles that help with balance. So it may be a little different feeling compared to some of the other balance exercises, but this is what I would call an indirect balance exercise. Since I'm using the muscles responsible for balance, I'm just doing it for both feet instead of just one. And rest. Good. All right, if you need to shake out the legs. The next set's going to be similar but different. As you notice on that one, I didn't sit all the way, I just tapped, go back up. This time we're going to disengage the muscles, meaning we're actually going to sit. So I come down, sit, muscles relaxed. And now I got to re-engage them, proper form. So I got to chest, chin forward, press down against the floor, and rise. So really try to avoid pushing off with your hands. If you need to, just try to use one hand. Once again, you could always modify it to make it a little easier, just don't make it too easy. And I've had tons of clients over the years and seen many other people that want to do this with their feet close together. That's not good for the knees. It makes the legs weaker, and that's going to hinder balance, because if you need leg strength to propel yourself upward, you want to do it in a way that's much more efficient and strong, not weaker. So bringing the feet close together, not the best idea if you want to be stronger as you lift yourself off the toilet or out of a chair or sofa. All right, got two more. And last one. All right, we're going to use the back of the chair again. So once again, we've already done lateral to the back, now it's to the front. So I'm going to keep my legs straight. Once again, try not to touch the floor with the leg that's moving if I could help it, and I should be able to help it. So we'll see, leg up, down but don't touch, and repeat that motion. Of course, you have an itch, you can scratch it, but try to keep a fluid motion if you can. How's that feeling so far? Legs should be starting to feel a little heavier. And one more. Good. All right, same thing on the other side. So going at this pace, if you notice, there's not a whole lot of rest in between. So that's why I like to get balance exercises under the type of tension where it requires your body to work a little bit harder. Because let's say your day starts at 8, 9, 10 a.m. and you're gone all day and you start to get tired. Well, you're still going to need to balance yourself walking on the street, getting out of a chair. As you fatigue, you can't just give up and stay in the restaurant all night. You got to go home at some point. So being able to balance and use those muscles throughout the day, even under fatiguing situations, is quite important. And rest. Good. All right. So here's one of the ones that I like to do, not because I like lactic acid burn, but because it's simple. You can do it almost anywhere that you have at least a few feet to travel, but there's an easy, intermediate, and a more advanced way. So we're going to start with the easy way. So chins up, back straight, on our toes. And you're going to take short little baby steps. We're going to go this way, turn around, and head back the other direction. But you want to keep the chin up so your head and eyes are on the horizon. Now, if this is challenging enough, stick with this one. However, if you need a little bit more challenge, what I want you to do is we're going to still walk, but slowly look to the right, then to the left, and back again. One more trip this way. Once again, slowly looking side to side. Working those calves and your core at the same time. All right, so that's 2 down. Now the next one's a little tougher. For me, it's quite a bit tougher. Stay on the toes, and we're going to slowly look up and then look down while taking slow and controlled baby steps forward. All right, one more time going this way. I didn't want to jinx myself. I feel like I'm doing pretty good today. Shake out those legs a little bit. Should have a little bit of that burn in the calves. So the next one we're gonna do is, instead of on the toes, we're gonna walk on our heels. So you're gonna pull those toes up off the floor and walk nothing but the heels. So we're gonna go through all 3 sets again, beginner, intermediate, and then more challenging. So toes up, eyes on the horizon, short, slow steps, not in a race. I still keep that core engaged, helps keep posture nice and tall. And of course, if you need to put your foot down, put your foot down, but try to stay on your heels if you can. All right, so that was the beginner way. Once again, if you have to keep it that way, do so. But if you can step it up a notch, try to do that as well. So on our heels, and we're gonna do the looking side to side, which for me, this is much more difficult on the heels because I feel like I'm much less under control. But that's a good thing in a safe environment like this. I don't want to be losing control when I'm surrounded by hard things I could hurt myself landing against. But this way, it's safe. I could just put my feet flat and correct in a safe manner. Now, if you already have some balance issues, if you could put your hand on a sofa and try this, that might be possible, depending on what kind of furniture you have. All right, now this one's gonna be fun. This is an interesting one. Same thing, but we're gonna look up and down. So on your heels, nice, slow, controlled motion, or attempting control. One more time. You guys got this. Almost there. Yeah. Whew. Feel the burn. All right. On this one, we'll need our chair again. This one, you're probably going to feel burn too, but not in the lower half of the leg. So what we're gonna do, once again, as always, the leg that's closest to the chair, that's the one I'm standing on. I call this one a tabletop because once I raise my leg, I'm gonna go the full length of the tabletop, in this case at 180, without dropping my foot. That's the goal. So it's leg up. Now on this one, to compensate the weight of my leg so it doesn't hurt my back, is I'm gonna lean slightly in the opposite direction. So as my leg comes closer to you, I'm leaning in the opposite direction and forward because my leg is back. Once again, slow and controlled manner. Really working the core, leg muscles. And of course, if you let go of the chair, you'll definitely feel how it takes a lot of balance to do this one. You got this, just a couple more. Whew. All right, very good. Now we got to do the other side. Once again, I don't want to be lopsided. Don't want you to be lopsided either. All right, so leg up, doing the tabletop. Just a couple more. And rest. Good. Whew. Feel that burn? Hope so. All right, on this next one, we are going to use the mat. Now, my mat is folded, so it creates about a 6-inch cushion here. Now, if your mat's just flat like a yoga mat, it's not going to be quite the same thing. So maybe you could use a pillow that you don't mind standing on. So you take off your shoe, but it's an unstable surface because it's soft and bushy like this. So what I want to do is I'm going to stand on it once again with my foot closer to the chair. My other leg's here. I'm going to go up as high as I feel comfortable, out to the side, and then up again. Once again, try not to rely on the chair. Up, and then by moving that weight away from the body, I have to compensate while standing on an unstable surface. Now it's somewhat stable because I got shoes on, but if I took my shoes off, it makes it less stable because the shoe's wider and flatter than my foot is. Just a couple more. And rest. Good. All right. Change sides here. Now you don't have to move your chair if you don't want. You can just move the mat or your pillow. All right. Let's get knee up, out to the side, knee up again. Once again, it's not a speed thing because that messes up balance. You want to be controlled motion as opposed to the motion and control of you. Just a couple more. And rest. Good. All right, now I'm going to move the chair out of the way. All right, here's another subtle but can be challenging balance exercise. So I'm going to use my mat and I'm going to be on my hands and knees. So I'm going to raise my left hand, this is one closest to you, while I raise my right leg back. So it's going to be alternated. However, in this case for the video, I'm going to do all on the same side first. So I'm going to raise my left hand and my right leg down slowly, but I'm not going to touch the floor. Back up again, hold briefly, and down. So you want to keep the core engaged. Raise up, down gently. Now, of course, if you have to touch the floor, do so, but really try not to if you could help it. And switch. Do the same thing on the other side. You don't have to switch like I'm doing, but so now I'm going to raise my right hand and my left leg. Once again, slow and controlled motion. And rest. Good. Hopefully that felt good. There's different ways you can modify it. You can alternate sides. That makes it a little bit tougher because your body has to switch and make those adjustments. But now we'll grab our ball again, or the small object you have. All right, now there's different ways to make this tougher. Now I'm going to show you the very basic way of doing it. I'll stand here so you can see. Feet close together, have the ball in my hand. My eyes are still going to stay on the ball. I'm going to turn back as far as I feel comfortable. Now for some, this could be tough because you're turning your body in a different plane. Instead of me being this way, my lower half is this way, but my upper half is this way. So it's quite a bit different. Switch, eyes still on the ball, and turn. Eyes still on the ball, and turn. It's also a good stretch and motion for the abdominals and the obliques here. But to make it tougher, obviously, you could stand on one foot, slowly turn. Use your other foot as a kickstand if you need to occasionally. And even when you put your foot down, it could be a tough one, okay? So once again, I'll just change this side. So I'll stand on my right foot. Yeah, this is tough. So once again, that might be something even I need to work on. But that's the way you could tell something works balanced. Take one foot off. For some, that might be obvious. But the reason why I don't say it's so obvious is if I just stay on my foot and not move, I could stand like this for quite a long time. This is super, super easy for me. So that's why as soon as I turn, that's why I know it works balanced. So it's still working balance, even though I have both feet on the ground, but this might be too easy for some. But for some of you watching, it may be plenty challenging enough. Especially since I'm not just turning, I'm keeping my eyes on the target the whole time, because your vision affects balance. And so when I'm focused on an object that's moving and the background's blurry, that changes balance. Alright, what did you think of that? Hopefully it was okay. We're going to do one more exercise. And this one's pretty tough, so you definitely, well, I think you definitely need your chair. I do, anyway. So what we're going to do, we're going to go through 3 different planes, front, side, and back. And to do so, let me see, I'll get here so you get a little different view. So this is neutral, my knee up. So I'm going to go to the front, back to neutral, to the side, return to neutral, and behind me, and back to neutral. So once again, this can be challenging enough while holding on. And if you're good enough, try to do so without touching the chair. But you always have to come back to neutral so you don't just swing that leg. So front, side, and back. Front, side, and back. Try 2 more on the side. Alright. Now this might be one that you want to do at the beginning when you're more fresh, because as fatigue starts to set in, you might notice that it gets a little tougher to do these balance exercises. But the key is always to bring it back to neutral. And before long, your leg will start to feel fatigue because all these muscles are working non-stop while you're doing this exercise. Alright, we got one more. Front, side, and to the back. Alright, good job everybody. Hopefully you enjoyed the class. That's just a number of different exercises. There's of course more than just those there. And once again, I only did 1 set of each. You could do 2 or 3 sets of each and turn it into a very lengthy class, or just pick your favorite ones that work well, avoiding those that are too easy, and then doing more sets of those. So once again, keep it up. Consistency is key, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.